They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but this particular 360-degree still frame could fill volumes. If you look past the arrow headed towards the 3 longbeards that are bearing down on my decoys, you'd see 35 years worth of memories of hunting with my family on this property that led up to this moment. The spot where I shot my first squirrel with a bow, where I shot my first big buck, where my dad shot his biggest buck ever, where I filmed my brother shoot his first deer, where my nephew shot his first turkey. And right off this point right here was where I was sitting the first time I hunted turkeys back in 1996. At that time, there were 7 turkeys that inhabited this area, but over the years that number grew steadily to a flock of about 50, and then eventually peaked at close to 100 birds. And during the last 3 decades, we've been blessed with countless hours of enjoyment chasing deer and turkeys in this area. In fact, last spring I shot a triple-bearded gobbler almost exactly where my blind is at. And at the time, I thought that was likely going to be the last hunt that I would ever have on this property, as the spread of urban development has finally closed in. But thankfully, as it turns out, this spring we have one more opportunity to hunt this land before it's ultimately gone. As usual, we started the turkey tour down south in early March, but as it neared Nebraska's archery opener, I headed back north for one more go-round of my favorite turkey hunting tradition, which led me to this moment right here, a shot at a gobbler of a lifetime.
There we go. Don't see anything on the limb, but there's at least one back up in there. Good deep gobble, probably a longbeard. Bitterly cold this afternoon, winds blowing 25 miles an hour. There's a little skip of snow on the ground. And it's still turkey season. Turkey season here, or it's archery season here in Nebraska. And per usual, I'm back on this property that if you've watched any of the bow hunts that I've done here in the past, I've hunted this property for a long time. My family and I hunted this property for a long time, several decades. And last year, I thought was going to be the last year that we were going to have to hunt it. But as it turns out, they haven't completely bulldozed it yet. We still got permission to hunt it, and there's still at least some turkeys on the property. Found some sign coming down the hill here, and then one just gobbled back up in the timber. In that same area where they were roosting last year to begin with, where I filmed my dad on opening day. But anyways, I'll have a couple days to hunt here. The weather is actually supposed to warm up and get better. Tomorrow's supposed to be fairly cool still, but then Thursday is going to be in the 60s. Sunny day, like a real good weather day. So I'm excited for that. I did hear that one gobble back up in the timber. I'm assuming there's more birds back up in there. They're just probably not talking much with it being this cold right now. I'm sure it shut them down pretty well today. Just scanning all the timber here, because normally you can see them up in the trees. That's the nice thing about the early part of the season, is that even if they're not being vocal, you can usually glass them and pinpoint where they're at. I know there's at least one gobbler up in that timber. At least got something to go after on this property tomorrow. About 5:45 right now, just getting ready to head in. Got blind, 2 decoys, camera bag, tripod, bow, water, food. Got plenty of stuff. Gonna go into that spot where I sat and watched and listened last night. That'll give me a great vantage point. I can just watch over that entire field, kind of an observation sit, if you will. But I'm definitely in the game there as well. I've shot birds in that area in the past. See what happens. Hopefully there's some other birds that I just didn't see or hear last night. Oh, man, the ground's frozen. Bitterly cold this morning. Wind chill like 10 degrees. The weatherman said last night that this was likely the coldest it was going to be until November, until later this fall. I don't expect that they'll gobble real well this morning, but wait and see. I know there's at least one over here. There we go. There's a bunch of different birds over there. That's more to the south. A pretty good group of them up in there. I didn't hear them or see them go to roost last night. Normally you can see them up in the trees. for as cold as it is, the birds are starting off gobbling pretty good here. There's one that I roosted last night, and then there's a group farther to the south, just kind of answering back and forth. The group is answering the lone tom and vice versa. Then a lot of times they'll come out into the field and eventually work their way over here. I've shot several turkeys from this general spot right here, but I got a couple good weather days coming up here where I just kind of get a feel for what the birds are doing, and then move in, make more aggressive setups going from here. But definitely got multiple gobblers on this property where we can hunt. Yep, there's that gobbler right there. They usually pop out in that cove back up in there and gobble and strut for a little bit. They've got a view down to a good portion of the field. You can see his head going like that, and they can hear the gobble a second or two later. He's probably 500-600 yards away. Now he's gonna go meet up with the group for sure. There's a couple of jakes scooting across that little cove back up in there. The group must have worked its way to the south. There's multiple birds gobbling back up in there. I don't think it's those jakes. Yep, there they are. Let's see what we got here. Looks like a full fan on that bird. Oh yeah, 3 longbeards. They seem to be by themselves. I don't see any other turkeys around them. They might be in the mood to come to a call, especially if they're by themselves. Well, they've got a long ways to come, but they definitely seem interested. Actually, they're pretty fired up. Their heads just turned a lot brighter red and white. They were a little bit pale-headed when they first stepped out. Just going to keep hitting them with the call and try to keep their interest level up since they are so far away. And then, if they start coming in, back off a little bit with the calling, since they can definitely see the decoys. Sun just popping out a little bit. Man, that's pretty. They're starting to slowly work this way. Well, they might just do it. Just come down off of that berm, and they definitely seem interested. I don't see any other turkeys around. I don't hear any hens. I don't see any hens, so it might be in business. gosh. Freezing. I can barely put this arrow back in the quiver. Called those 3 longbeards in from 400 plus yards away. I'm assuming that's part of the group that was roosted farther to the south. But anyways, to get 3 gobblers like that by themselves this time of the year and call them in across the field like that has almost never happened before. They got up here at about 15 yards. I was just able to slowly pull it back, got to full draw. I was like, here we go. That wore on my nerves, watching them come all the way across the field and hoping they were going to do right and come all the way up to the decoys. But when they were by themselves like that, they were responding to the calling. I felt like there was a pretty good chance that it was going to happen. That was awesome. Nice job. Brought him right in. Yeah. Holy cow, are you kidding me? How many beards is that? Unbelievable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 beards. Oh my word. That is the exact same spot where I shot a bird last year with a shotgun. It was a triple bearded turkey. I thought it was going to be the last one that I ever got to shoot off this property. I thought that was the last hunt I was going to ever have on this property. Turns out we still got the opportunity to hunt it this year. Came in with a bow today. And then to have these birds come out, call them in from 400 yards away, come right up, get a 15-yard shot, put him down, and it's a 6 bearded turkey. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. That is absolutely incredible. At least 6. Actually, there might be 7. That might be another one right there. Or maybe I counted that one already. Either way, beautiful rusty colored tail fan. And he is heavy. Heavy. Holy cow. That is awesome. That is a gobbler of a lifetime. Unreal. There's the arrow. Oh, broke a blade. Shout out to my buddy Andy Melton. Bought me these broadheads, which are called Rocket Turkey Tomahawks. They quit making them years and years ago. Andy found a bunch of them on a dusty shelf in an archery shop, bought them for me. I'd shot all the other broadheads through turkeys and, bend up blades and break blades like this, and I had enough good blades left to cobble one more broadhead together. I pretty much talk about these broadheads every time I shoot a turkey, but they're the most devastating broadhead I've ever found for body shooting turkeys. But it's a 2 3/4 cutting diameter, 3 blade. I've never hit and lost a turkey using these broadheads. I mean, they're mean. They cut a big hole and put them down quick. Shot was quartering too and hit him right in the wing butt. I mean, yeah, boy, that broadhead, that's probably why that blade broke off, but that just completely sheared his wing bone in half and exited out right about there. So normally try to put it just in front of the wing on a quartering shot, but he did a couple backflips and that was about it. That was quick. Just how you want it. I just cannot believe that. Shot double bearded turkeys, shot a triple beard last year, and you see and hear of people shooting 5, 6, 7 bearded turkeys, but you just never expect that to happen. My dad's not going to believe this. Still gobbling. Oop, there's more up here. Sounded like there was 2 birds. That might be the 2 that was with the one I just shot. I kind of let everything settle down here for a while, hoping they were going to move off so I didn't spook them. I might have to find a way to loop out around them to get back to my truck. My truck is directly back in that direction. Those turkeys are in that direction. And then the other lone gobbler is in that direction. But again, this is not typical for this early season for the birds to be split up like this and for there to be gobblers by themselves up on high points gobbling as you would expect later in the season. There he was, right there. Well, that is a pretty special treat right there. You know, this has always been my most favorite turkey hunting tradition, coming back and hunting with my family here on the properties that I grew up hunting, and hopefully I'll still have some time to get out and hunt with my dad and my brother and my nephews throughout the season. You know, and if this is the last one, what a bird to end it with. Boy.
Got him. Let's go. I made the clip and they both look like this.
Yep.
And it was like, boom.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome.